I had a friendship breakup like 5 years ago, where one day, randomly, a guy I really liked and considered a good friend ghosted me and completely ignored me at school, and I never found out why. Later that school year, I found his Twitter account where he spent every day talking shit about me and my friends at school. So I guess it was better that we weren't friends for the both of us. Better for me because based on the tweets, he seemed to genuinely despise every aspect of me. And better for him because the tweets had so much anger and hatred in them that I had to have done something horrible to warrant him to say those things about me. But I never found out what I did. And whatever it was is not necessarily the point of this video. This video is about missing someone who doesn't miss you. And despite him saying awful things about me, I used to miss him a lot. Even when I saw the crappy things he tweeted about me every single day. But he clearly didn't miss me. Because he hated me. Or still hates me. I wouldn't know, I haven't seen him in 4 years. But I do think about him sometimes. And now that I've hit the 4-year mark, I wonder more and more often that if I had gotten closure, what would I have spent all this time doing that I've wasted thinking about him? And even more embarrassingly, I highly doubt that he thinks about me. His face has gotten blurry in my memories, and if we passed each other on the street, I doubt that either of us would recognize each other. Every year it takes longer to scroll down to pictures of us in my camera roll, and yet I know exactly where to stop to find them. Songs that used to give me flashbacks of him don't anymore because I've listened to them too many times, and inside jokes that I randomly remember just make me melancholic now, instead of nostalgic. And I know I could have been a better friend. I don't know what caused him to hate me, but as with anyone in this situation, I have my guesses. And if it was something ignorant or horrible that I just didn't realize at that age, I am sorry. But I've reread texts and talked to friends who knew both of us, and they genuinely don't know the reason he hates me. And because I don't know, there's guilt in that longing too. I think about things that I could have done differently, and I wonder what it was that caused him to hate me. And if I could have prevented that. But most of all, I wonder if he secretly hated me the entire time we were friends. Or was it only later? When I think about him, I feel a weird, conflicted sort of longing. A part of me hates him for what he said about me, and hates him even more for what he said about my friends. But another part can't help but long for him, because I feel like I've never met anyone who, at least what I believed at the time, was so much like me. And I know the version of him that I have in my head cannot possibly be accurate. He's probably changed so much since I last saw him many years ago, so I'm not missing him. I'm missing a made-up person whose face just happens to be his. And even more pathetically, it's been years since I've last seen him. I know I should be over it by now, but it's the unanswered questions and lack of closure that keeps him in my mind and makes me miss him. I look for him in everyone I meet, but I've never found anyone just like him, and I know that's because he's an idealized version in my head. No one could ever be as perfect as the rose-tinted image I have of him. But I have no way of getting that closure, so I just have to live with it. Or more reasonably, forget him. During the past 4 years, I've tried different tactics to forget him. I tried limiting myself from thinking of him by pushing away thoughts whenever they came back into my head. But eventually I gave in. I tried not consuming content that reminded me of him, but we had so many similar interests that was difficult. I thought that my current life wasn't fulfilling enough, so I tried to make new friends and memories to fill the void he left. And despite my friends being fantastic people, they were not him. Which, like I said, was an impossible standard to meet anyway. Now, I definitely don't think about him as often as I did, say, 3 to 4 years ago, and the time I've spent thinking of him has decreased over the years, so maybe in another 5 years I will have completely forgotten him. They say time does heal, but oh my god, could time maybe hurry it up a bit so I can stop wasting brain cells on some guy who has probably forgotten that I even exist? Anyway, and making a video about this is a bit embarrassing because I do feel a bit pathetic for still thinking about him sometimes. But it's not like I spend every day crying about him. Sometimes weeks can pass where I don't think about him at all. But every once in a while, when I think of something that he would laugh at, or see something that only the two of us would understand. It's moments like those that make me wish that we were still friends. But if we were to meet again, I'm sure we could have a civilized conversation or whatever. But I don't know if I would even want to be his friend. Maybe. Who knows? But like I said, I have no idea what he's like today. He could be the total opposite of the guy I've imagined, and even if he's not, he would not be able to live up to the expectations that I have imagined in my head. And that's 100% my fault. And so it feels weird to long for someone who realistically doesn't exist. And a part of the reason I liked him so much was because I thought that we were very similar people. I doubt that he thought that, but I did. And I think the reason I still miss him is because I haven't met anyone who was just as similar to me. So, I think a part of me will always miss him, or at least the made-up version I have of him in my head, until I meet someone who is just as similar to me as he was. Like and subscribe! Do you like the tonal shift? Sorry for the lack of jokes. I feel like this video is sadder than my usual videos. 1 subscription equals 1 joke. And if you, guy I'm talking about in this video, are watching and you realized it's you, I didn't mean any of this. It was a joke. Epic prank. Okay, bye.